today is the official first day of, or first time doing the Ravens Real Talk with some friends. Very exciting. You guys have no idea. I've actually wanted to do this for a very, very, very long time. And this is going to be the first time I'm trying this out with people. And the theme for today is self-improvement. So basically the way this is going to work out is I'm going to hopefully successfully reveal one cam at a time. And you already know the three participants that are going to be joining me for today. And hopefully I'm going to do it right. Here we go. The first person I'd like to introduce is a friend that I actually made on Twitch Sings as well. I think that was my first introduction to him. And y'all know who it is. Ah, there he is. It's X Creation.
Hi everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm dying over here.
Okay.
Uh
There we go. X, do you want to give a 2-second introduction about yourself?
I didn't think about it. I'm X-Creational. People call me X.
The next person is one of my day ones. He's a wonderful person as well. Mega D! Yes!
Oh, yeah. Don't believe that wonderful person thing. Slander and lies. Hi, I'm Shane.
Or as I like to call him, Mega Day Day. And last but not least is another friend I actually made on Twitch Sings completely randomly through Kisos. I am Hadriel. Do you want to tell us about yourself?
I met Raven through Twitch Sings, courtesy of Kistos. He said I had to sing with you, and he was so damn right. I stream here on Twitch, and I play games and stuff, and I'm not the greatest at it, but that's what I do.
And it's always a good time.
Unless I'm Viper, then you know.
Hey, that is always a good time with some Viper ability. Shit. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what Raven's Real Talk is, it basically is an idea, I guess, that stemmed from early on when I first started streaming. Just naturally, while talking to people would come in my stream and talk about their personal stuff, and I'd be talking about my personal experiences in life. And that's sort of how Raven's Real Talk was born. It was just having conversations about life issues or things that we've experienced in life, and either spreading awareness or just sharing stories. And I can't remember exactly where the name Raven's Real Talk came from, but it's mainly been me on my own, just interacting with chat while doing art, or just sitting and talking with everyone. And the next step up from that, I wanted to include people from the Raven community to come as guests on the show and actually share their experiences and sort of have this back and forth with, also interacting with chat, but also getting to know more about community members. So we're going to start off with our first question, which is, what is a habit or lifestyle practice or change that you have implemented in your life that was inspired by seeing it in practice by someone else? So I'm going to start us off just to kind of make everyone get an understanding of what that question means. So when I was growing up, I was really shy and quiet, and everyone's been bullied a lot. I was bullied a lot, and it just caused me to just be very quiet and not have the confidence to talk to people. But growing up, I saw my sister always complimenting people, and if she liked a girl's hair, she would be like, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful," or she thought a girl was pretty, she'd be like, "You're so beautiful." Or if she, I don't know, liked the way someone made her sandwich, she would like compliment their effort, or though she would thank them. And I think that really grew on me because I kept seeing her do that to people, and I was like, imagine, and I would see how happy that made them feel. You know what I mean? That would make them feel so happy. They would seem to light up. And I was like, I want people to feel that way, because in my head, I'm always thinking all these things like, oh wow, she's so pretty. Oh my God, that dress looks so pretty on her. Or, oh my God, they're working so hard to do X, Y, and Z. And who doesn't want to hear that? So that's something that I started implementing in my life, and I cannot take credit for that. That's because of my sister. I learned that from her. And now I've tried to implement that in my life by doing things like stop, drop, and love. Or if I like the way something is, I just say it. So, X, do you want to start us off?
Oh crap, I'm next. Okay. Okay. Going off from that. Okay, so I guess growing up, I used to have a habit of like always talking over another person or something, or like always wanting to like be in charge of something, and it could be a good thing, but sometimes it could be a bad thing, you know. And so so I think I spoke to Raven about this, but I've been to this leadership camp, and I think it's appropriate for this theme, self-improvement. This camp I've been to is called Camp Delta, and Delta in scientific terms that means change, and which is very appropriate, yeah. And there's this thing I learned there called the step up, step down thing. Yeah, so to explain what step up, step down is, it's like step up, obviously you always want to step up, do this and that. Like it's so easy to step up and take the lead and always leading, and you know, always talking over one another person, whatever, etc. And always want to push your ideas over others. But I find it harder to step down and let someone else step up. um so for example, things I've learned at this camp is like, say you have a quiet person who doesn't want to talk, but you have a very extroverted person who happens to be in the same group with them, always want to give their ideas out, want to push their ideas, but you never know how much of an impact that quiet person is if they're allowed to get their ideas across the table and do um and get the group to do what they had in mind. And that's why, like, every now and then you kind of see me like for example, Valorant games, like say like we have more people that want to play, I'm always the person who wants to step out, like, hey, anyone want to take my spot, etc. It's something that I've really, you know, like, enjoy. And it's a hard lesson. It took me a
It's
while to get
hard.
over, because even now and then, like, I still tend to like talk over people, but I'm aware that that's my issue. And another example is like going out to like karaoke parties in real life, and I'm usually the mic hogger, hogging the mic at karaoke bars, and it's something I'm still working on, but I'm aware of that issue. So yeah, that's what the step up, step down is what I've taken um into my life from this camp that I was a part of for like years.
Do you ever feel like a part of the reason that you step up a lot is because you don't like
Oh,
the
step down. Wait,
no,
what?
no, the you stepping up a lot because you said you come forward a lot with like your ideas and
Yeah.
you pursue. Do you feel like, because I struggle with that as well, and I want to know if you struggle with it because of this specific reason. I don't like lulls. I don't like it when we're given a group project and everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I'm like burning. I'm like, I know what I think we should do. And I don't like that lull. Or if someone's like, okay, we need to split up the work. Who's going to do what? I don't like waiting for,
Yeah.
because then no one's gonna talk, so I'd rather just
Mhm.
step and be like, I'll do it. I don't know if you guys notice this, but sometimes there's always like we have conversations and someone's like, okay, so who's gonna go to A? I always just be like, I'm gonna go to A in Valorant, for example, because I don't like
Mhm.
this, like, I could go, or like maybe I'll go. I don't know who's gonna go. I just like to take decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in that scenario it's a little bit different, because like, say like in a group project, most of the time, in my experience, most of the time the quiet people, they're afraid to get their ideas across the
Oh,
table because they feel like their idea is like stupid or it won't work, etc.
okay.
But you never know if you don't, you know,
Let
if
them.
if the person who's always taking charge allow other people to speak their mind, they will never know and grow from it, you know. And I used to be that person
That
who
is
was like
so hard.
quiet too, like never
Yeah.
want to get my ideas across until someone was like, "Hey, because like I was attending at this camp starting off, and say there was this one person who's always taking the lead, and thank God our counselors at the time, we call them counselors or family leaders, they're like, "Hey, why don't you?" They literally say, "Hey, why don't you step down a bit and like, you know, give X a try, you know, etc." And then like
Ooh.
it made a big impact in my life. Like, while like my ideas actually got across, and
Yeah.
it we tried it out in this activity and it worked. You know, it can make a big difference to someone if you would just step down and let someone else step up.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm weird about that because like I'm never the first person to throw myself in the ring. like to be leader, but if nobody else is,
Yes.
I'll always like be like, okay,
Yes.
hold on, let's do it this way. Let me.
Yeah.
I won't be like declare myself the leader, but I'll like come forth and like be like, all
Well,
right,
here's
my
an idea. Yeah. Oh, you're next, D.
Am I? I didn't actually prepare.
That's okay.
But I've just been thinking about it because like I can't really think of anything that I've observed specifically in somebody that's had me like change
Yeah.
something because I want to be like that. But somebody made a good point. Well, I was gonna say that there are a lot of characters in books and TV shows that have been like role models
Ooh,
to me.
that's a good one.
in
You could
some
say
way.
that. Yeah.
But I can't think of any specific examples.
Okay.
But one of my friends pointed out, I discovered that people love to talk about themselves. So like, I have a lot of social anxiety. I have, I don't mind walking up and talking to somebody. A lot of the time I find like if I ask somebody in the grocery store like where something is, they seem more annoyed than I am. I'm just like
They seem more
but it takes a lot of
annoyed
confidence. Yeah. It's like
that you're talking to them?
yeah, it's like they're
What?
busy.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see.
Like I'm going out of my comfort zone to talk to you.
Right.
Can you maybe just help me out and then I'll move along?
Okay, no need to be a dick. Like, I'm just asking you where the lemons are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But yeah, so like I'll have like conversations with people, and it's kind of a thing where a lot of time like when I was newly single, I needed to kind of readjust to learn to talk to people. This has happened a couple times, where like you get in a relationship and then you kind of like I'll get like used to only talking to the one person and not have outside friends,
100%.
and then need to figure out how to talk to people again.
Yes.
But a friend pointed out like you don't have to talk all that much about yourself. People, if you ask people about themselves, they'll talk about themselves, and that'll actually endear them to you more. And it's an interesting thing because I've done it, and I don't do it all the time. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to try out. Just like if you have like some social anxiety, a friend pointed that out. I tried it. It works.
Yeah, it does.
Especially when I was a lifeguard. Early in the morning, we'd have the chairs pushed together, so like we'd have two lifeguards guarding each pool, and we'd be talking. And like if there's a really long lull, it gets really awkward really fast.
Yes.
So like I was like, I'm just gonna ask this person about their life.
Yeah, push the questions onto them.
Yeah, and I did, and it just like it ended up like, putting on a long conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think sometimes. This might be a silly place to start, but TV shows, for example, or music, that's some place that you can start, even if you don't have that in common, because let's just say I don't have crime, I don't like mafia shows, and I'll ask someone about it. I don't have to know about those shows or have something in common with them to ask more about why they like it. Because you can just be like, why do you like it? Or why is that theme so important to you? Or like you can ask about them. And I think that really does help take away that anxiety from yourself of trying to find the perfect thing to say or being conscious about, will we get along? Just ask them about themselves. I like that. I really like that. So Wolf says that I'm scared of taking all the responsibility and that they're the quiet guy a lot. So you said that you like that a lot. What did you mean, Wolf? Did you mean that you like that you like when people allow you to speak or give you the opportunity to speak? I'm either too quiet or too loud and so self-conscious about both. Yeah, that's a hard, and Kelsey can relate as well. I think that's a hard I think that's about balance again, because it's about finding the balance of when to be quiet and then when to be loud, and then own it. Because if you're self-conscious about it, people can pick up on that, and that might work against you. I've been in both situations, and I do still struggle with that too. So I understand that's really difficult, a difficult balance to find. When you're given the opportunity or you're told sometimes to do it, I know people don't like being put on the spot, but that can really work in your favor, especially for people like that who struggle and are quiet. So yeah, so if anyone are teachers out there or even in social settings, social situations, we can work to try to be that person that observes and realizes that, okay, that's a quiet one, let me help them get the floor. That's how we can improve ourselves in social situations. Hey, Joe, do you want to Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I went a different route. Like, I mean, I can relate to all what you guys are saying. Like, I'm not the best in social situations. I have like actively pushed myself towards like being a social butterfly, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not by any means. Like, social media is easy, but like talking to people, even if like we talk online all the time and stuff, and like I feel like whenever we meet up, like it'll be fine. But like I went to TwitchCon this past year, and people that like I talk to all the time online, I was like, shaken to
Yeah.
talk to them. But like, I went more the route of there's this YouTuber that like was kind of like a big influence, or inspiration rather. Uh, and I've talked about it before and like to other folks, but like basically like along the lines of um he said something along the lines of like doing something because it might be fun or because you think it's right. And I've kind of really like just started doing things because I think it might be fun. I don't care how stupid it is. I don't care
Yes. I
if
love
it's
that.
whatever it is. I just if it seems like fun, I'm gonna commit to that, and I'm gonna take it all the way. And so like that's something that I uh have been doing. I mean, I smashed eggs on myself all the time, and like, is it fun to clean it up? No, but like, is it funny? Maybe. Um, so like, just I don't know, stuff like that. Uh,
And that outweighs your fear of people looking at you funny and
yeah, yeah. Like, it doesn't really matter if people think I'm stupid for it or whatever. Like, if it puts a smile on someone's face, or if I enjoy doing it, that's all that matters to me.
how did you get to that point?
Um,
Because I know a lot of us worry about what people think about us and how we're going to be perceived. So
yeah,
sometimes our fun could be perceived in like, oh my God, that person's this way, that way. And I know a lot of
yeah,
us struggle with, doing things for ourselves and we worry about people
yeah.
so much, what they think about us.
I've always been like the weird one amongst like friends or in school or whatever, but like uh I don't know. Like I came to a point like I would avoid going to like shows or concerts or anything like that if I didn't have someone to go with me because I didn't want to go alone and so I missed out on like a lot of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I would have these friends that would say like, "Oh yeah, let's go to this thing, let's do this thing. I want to go to this," and they just would never commit to it. So there was like a turning
Oh, I
point, like
hate
I think it
that.
was like 8 years ago or so, and like I was just like, you know what, F it, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna go alone to this concert, and I'm gonna have a good time. So that's exactly what I started doing, and like it was great. I mean, it would be better to share the experience with someone, but I just started doing things for me,
Yeah.
and nothing beats that, I don't think.
Like you stopped
Because
waiting for.
yeah, I stopped waiting on other people. I stopped like relying on other people for stuff because like I'm that kind of person. I want to share experiences with people.
Absolutely.
That's like I don't know. There's no way to describe it, but to not do it just because there isn't someone just seems foolish. Um, I don't know. It was kind of like that was like my turning point of I'm gonna do things for me and things that I enjoy, and if I think it's funny, hopefully other people will too. But if not, I'm still having fun doing it, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's worked out so far.
I think that's actually a really good point because we can relate it to streaming. There's a lot of people who have not a lot of people, but some people have reached out to me and asked me for advice, which I'm super humbled about because I'm not like a big streamer or super successful or anything. Well, I'm successful in my eyes because I think that I've created something beautiful. But what I mean is like the world's definition of success. Um,
Mhm.
I get asked like, what do you think I should stream, and do you think I should stream full time, and how did you do it, and honestly, guys, I'm not even just saying this to hopefully this is not meant to be like the harsh reality or anything. It's just or a cliche response. Doing things for yourself and just having fun while you're streaming. I know that doesn't work for everyone, but that's honestly the advice that I give to people because at the end of the day, even if you don't have viewers or you have like one person watching, two people watching, at the end of the day, you're not going to be like, I just wasted 3 hours of my life, just whatever.
Been
Like,
there.
you know what, and it's totally normal to feel like that. But I feel like when you're doing it for yourself and you're enjoying the time that you're playing a game that you enjoy, and sure you're talking to yourself for that 3 hours, but you had fun playing that game for 3 hours. It's such a different feeling, and I like that you meant. So, which one of you have gone to, like, I don't know, movies alone? Have you? Okay, you've gone X.
I have never, but I've been wanting to go to movies by myself
Okay.
because for some reason all my friends happen to go see movies without me, and I'm like, well, f y'all too. I guess I'll try to go watch it myself eventually. It never happened though.
Okay. But you're looking for, you're okay with the
Yeah.
opportunity if it does come along.
Yeah, but it just for concerts, I can't go by myself. Like I could relate to Hadrian in that way, but then he said he's going to a concert by himself. I was like, oh crap. I can't go to concert by myself because one, I don't want to drive and find parking and go through all that traffic by myself in the car.
That's fair, yeah.
And
Okay.
two, like I need someone next to me to sing with, like, at a concert,
Okay, that's
So-
completely fair. I get that.
Yeah, I've gone to a lot of things by myself. It was just kind of a time in my life when it's like, yeah, screw it. I don't need.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go see a movie. I'm just gonna go see a
I'm
movie.
just gonna go.
Like,
Yeah.
It was just like $10, whatever. Let's go see a movie.
Yeah.
And like I think I enjoyed it a little bit more because it's like I didn't have.
Oh
friend
yeah,
to
we had
lean
this
over.
conversation.
But I also don't feel tempted to like lean over and say anything to somebody else because it's
It goes
natural
both
for
ways.
everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I usually can restrain myself, but yeah, instead of I'm just experiencing it. But I've also been I used to go to comedy club every week by myself.
Ooh,
'cause
that's an interesting experience.
Because I started it with my old with like back when I was like 19. When I had a girlfriend then and a roommate, we all went together with some friends, and we had like 8 of us, and we would go. But then girlfriend and I broke up, and it was just me and my roommate would go still, and I would go every week. And then he moved away. I just kept going.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd bring people. Sometimes I'd make friends. When I had a similar situation when I had when I worked on a hot dog stand.
Ooh.
Yeah, we did that every Friday and Saturday night from like 11 to 2.
The comedy club.
No, the hot dog stand.
Oh, okay.
This is similar story. I'm getting there because we went to get the bar crowd.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked. But there was the one night that the guy decided to quit doing it and just didn't tell me. I was already like across
There,
the
yeah.
street from our host, so I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna hang out by myself and have a drink. And like a group of random people just kind of like see me, drinking alone, and they just like invite me to join their group, and we just bar hop
I
for a while.
love
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah, and it was
really nice.
I think a similar thing could happen at concerts.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's actually it's actually happened to me. I can't remember where I was, but someone, or maybe I did that to someone. I think I saw someone eating alone, but the situation like called for it. It was sort of a situation. Paint. It was a paint. What's that called? Paint. You buy the mug and then you paint it. You guys have that over there?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called.
Mhm.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so
Yeah.
I went with my brother, and there was a girl that was sitting by herself, and she was painting her mug, and she kept glancing over my brother and I. And I think it seemed like she felt lonely, like everyone was there with someone and she wasn't there with anyone. So I was like, this is such a tricky situation because on one hand, you don't want to assume that they're lonely just because they're sitting alone. Because hell, I like to go do things by myself, and I would feel really weird if someone's like, are you okay? And I'm like, bro, I'm fine. I chose to be alone. But on the other hand,
It's just my resting
it's
face.
just exactly tears coming down. And then on the other hand, I felt bad in that moment because I'm like, I'm having such a nice time with my brother. I don't know if she's having a nice time. So I just asked her if she wanted to join. And she actually said okay. And she came by their table and we all painted together and we talked about like the colors and random stuff. And it was so nice. So you really never know when you will meet someone to share the experience with, even if you go alone. So the point is, don't let that hold you back just because you're going alone or you don't have someone to share that with. It's hard sometimes, I know, because we have moments where we do want to share it with someone. And the first thing we think about is like, if I had someone, it would be nicer. But try your hardest not to let that hold you back, because trust me, guys, years are going to go by and you might never have like the proper friend or the proper partner to share it with, and then you're going to regret it. You're going to feel like I should have done this years ago. Let me just catch up on chat. I'm very sorry for being behind.
Yeah, so I can't go to like concerts alone, and like I would invite a friend or whatever, and I will offer to drive as long as someone comes with me.
Mhm.
Oh,
It was
and that's
definitely
fair.
weird.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was like, I would drive.
Yeah, it was really weird the first time, but like some like I don't know, some people are like the extrovert that I need in life. And like
Yes.
they like it's a complete stranger and like they just say like, "Hey, like I like your shirt," or whatever, and like now we're talking.
Yes.
And, like,
Yes.
I've made friends at random events that are
Mhm.
like friends for years now, and it's I don't know, it's awesome when it happens.
It is. I love movies by myself. Yeah, I've been to a few movies and I've been to dinner by myself, which was strangely therapeutic. Like, I just sat there with my thoughts and I really needed it. It was that alone time that I just needed to myself. I ate as much as I wanted. I stayed as long as I wanted, and it was absolutely wonderful. I had no one rushing me. I had no worries about really anything at that moment except my own thoughts, which felt awesome. We got to the point where it's weird to go to concerts with people. Oh damn! So you've done the solo thing so much. That's interesting. I think it would be almost like a whole different experience with someone now that you've trained yourself to like be comfortable going alone. Going to the movies alone most of the time, I'm worried if other people are enjoying. Yes, Wolf. I think a lot of us can relate. And over here, it's I want to say $15 for a movie.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I have like 5 free passes to go to the movies, and I never used it.
What?
So I'm trying to get rid of it. Yeah, I get them every year for Christmas from my manager because she knows I like to go to the movies when like Marvel movies comes out. Black Widow was supposed to come out this month.
Black Widow.
Mulan was supposed to come out in March.
Mulan.
I was
man,
saving
yeah.
all my passes for all these movies.
Damn.
God.
And then
Yeah.
they screwed us over. Kelsey, I actually was waiting for someone to bring that point up, the not feeling safe going to concerts alone. So it's interesting that you brought
Yeah.
that up, because I feel the same way sometimes. Not even now with, like, God forbid, all of these bomb threats and all of those, but also just you feel well, I have a thing with crowds. So for me, I just feel like concerts are the easiest place for some kind of bad shit to go down. But I'm trying not to let that hold me back from, experiencing things in a safe manner, of course. Like, don't put yourself in the position of risk, right? Like, be cognizant of your surroundings and aware of everything. But
It's definitely different as a woman going to a concert alone, and definitely like if you have like issues with big crowds and stuff. Obviously, like, what I did is not going to work for everyone at all.
Right,
but, like,
right.
That's just like the turning point for me of stuff like that.
Exactly. I am one extreme or the other. One moment I can be super social and I love meeting people, and the next moment I can be completely alone. So, Gabby, wait, would you say you're an introvert by nature? And an introvert, I think a lot of people have a misconception that they just are incapable of being extroverted. What I was told is that an introvert is someone who prefers their own company, but when the situation calls for it, they're able to be extroverted. But
That's me.
yeah, and I think I'm that too. I think I'm an introvert by nature.
It's more. There's more of a spectrum. No, like nobody's ever like one or the other. It's more like it'd be like 75-25, one or the other. But with introverts, generally you kind of you think of it like a battery. You introverts charge their batteries alone. Extroverts charge their batteries with other people.
Oh, I like that. Okay, the recharge bit. I like that. I went to music festival and I got in a crowd and had a full like. Oh, that's terrifying. Hopefully you didn't go alone, Aya, when you got that anxiety attack. I got hit in the head with a grapefruit. Oh my God. What is someone doing with the grapefruit at a festival is what I want to know, actually. That doesn't even seem like a a fruit that you would eat there, or any fruit, to be honest. My introversion is an adaptation from being too shy to ask people to go out. While I can enjoy solitude, I know I'd much rather be out with others. I think a lot of people are like that, to be honest, Maine. I think it was great how you got over your fears to go to TwitchCon. Oh yeah, that was.
Oh my god.
Damn, I was missed out.
I wanted to ask about that with like because all three of you have been to a TwitchCon. I have not. Like, do you feel like, because I know that I've been into like social situations where I kind of almost have to become like a different person to talk to people.
Ooh.
Like you flip a switch and it's just like, now I'm this outgoing person who can talk to people, and then like you get back to your room and it's just like, you know.
For me, it was at Twitch. It was different because I already met a lot of people through Twitch Sings.
Yeah, true.
And talked to them like every day in their streams. So like that building up to TwitchCon, it was like we never lost touch.
Yeah.
It's like we already knew each other.
We were doing the gift thing back and forth, which was hilarious.
Yeah. So so I think in me and Raven's case, I guess it was easy because of that experience with Twitch Sings beforehand.
So like Gabby and Katie and a couple other friends that like I've met through Twitch.
Oh, you got to meet them in person.
Yeah, so we met in Boston for another convention, and then like getting to see them again at TwitchCon was just like I mean, it was just meeting back up again. It was great. But then like there were some people who I'd been talking to for like a year or so, and like one group in particular, it was just like meeting up with old friends. But then other people who I'd been talking to like the same amount of time, I was like, I can't say hi. I was so like, I was just locking up and nervous, and I couldn't say anything. And then like finally it was like, okay, if I don't say hi to them now, I don't know when I'm gonna see them again. Let me talk to them. But also at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what to say. And like when I finally did talk to them, it was fine. And they're like, you don't need to be nervous. I'm like, I know, but I am.
But I am. Yeah, exactly.
But like it was just so comforting because like, there's no reason to be afraid. They're nice. Everyone's just here to hang out.
For like other cases that I met that I did not know prior to TwitchCon, if I know like one or two people in a different group, it kind of like it leads me to like making new friends from their group. Like that's how I met Casey, the King Live, or like DJ High because of Snark, because I knew Snark. And Natasha was in that group too, so I knew Natasha and Snark, and it makes it easier knowing someone from that group. It makes it easier to talk to other people in their group because you know one or two.
Yeah, that's
people.
True. And you're comfortable with them, and they make it comfortable. However, on the flip side, I did speak with, I think, 2 people at least at TwitchCon that were actually very, very anxious. Like, they seemed really cool up front and calm, but when we had like our one-on-one, they were like, this is so overwhelming. I'm terrified, and I need just like time in my room to recuperate. So there were those people too that did feel that way. And I think what's cool about, or the way that I felt, is that I didn't feel like I needed to be fake. I mean, I don't really ever feel the need to be fake unless I'm at work. Sometimes I just feel like you got to put on a face. But let's be real. But at TwitchCon, right? But like at TwitchCon, if I wasn't feeling something, I was okay to say that. Okay, biggest example. We all were walking around, was it like their downtown, Gaslight or whatever district, and I can't remember if we wanted, like people, the group wanted to go to a bar or they wanted to go to a club. I can't remember, but like I wasn't feeling it, but I also didn't want to be the party pooper because it's not like it's something that I'm completely against. If I was against it, I'd just be like, you guys go ahead, I'm gonna dip out.
I wasn't feeling it either. I know what you're talking about.
Not feeling it, but everyone seemed excited, so I was like, cool, I'll tag along for a bit. If they're gonna stay too long though, I'm zipping. Like, I already mentally made up my mind without making a big deal. So that was sort of the only instance throughout the whole trip where I felt like I was going along with something that I wasn't particularly excited about. So it's a little different from Dee's question, but I feel like that was the only time where I felt like I made a decision to go along with something that I wasn't particularly excited about. Okay, next question, guys. Oh, wait, we're at the hour mark. D?
I'm good.
Dipset? Okay. The next question is the same as the first, except it's a negative thing. So, what is a habit, lifestyle, practice, or change that you have actively tried to avoid in your life or have tried to counter that you saw in someone else? So, in my life, I could start us off. It's I grew up with a family member who was severely indecisive, and it got to the point where it was I saw it being so debilitating to the person where they just couldn't make life decisions and they would need help or 10 different opinions constantly. And it is so frustrating being around someone like that. I didn't realize how annoying being around someone who is indecisive is till I was constantly around this person and I was growing up and actually paying attention to their actions and realizing that holy cow, this is like a life skill that they just don't have. And it's not their fault because they weren't put in positions to build those skills. Some people naturally have a certain degree of decision making skills, but I think for all of us, we need to be put in a situation to develop these skills, and they just weren't given that opportunity. So going back to the first question, another reason I step up when a question is asked and there's just like, what are we going to do? I come forward is to counter that and try to be, at least I'm making a decision. So for me, the struggle I have is having the balance between coming off as like bossy and always taking control, but also being decisive. And that's where my struggle is. So being decisive is something that I've actively tried to implement into my life. Dee, do you want to go ahead?
I can't like really think of anything like that. I don't know. Maybe there's like some things that I unconsciously decided not to do because like I know like I had like some pretty crappy step parents, both stepfather and stepmother, and like I remember there was like a moment when my stepdad like apparently he just fucking pushed me down sometimes. It was that I don't remember.
He put you down?
Like pushed me down. There's one time I
pushed you
like
physically?
Yeah, I was a child. I don't remember this.
What the hell? Okay.
It's just tragedy. Like there was one time like I remember this is actually kind of cruel but kind of funny, on my part, because he wanted to shut me up one time when I was like 5, and clapped his hand over my mouth completely. But I don't think he realized that he was closing my nose.
Oh
too.
my god, that is terrible.
So you know what I did?
Bit his hand.
I licked his hand.
Ooh, I do that too. Yeah.
Oh
He pulled it right away.
Good. Good.
Oh
Like
my
5,
God.
but
It works. If it works, it works.
It works. Oh my
what
god.
the answer that I actually came up with was actually I didn't see it in another person. I guess I saw it in myself, but I guess I saw it in myself as like a third person. I don't know, because it was something I didn't realize I did. I used to be a very manipulative person, like without going into too many details. But like I would just kind of get people to do what I wanted them to do in a manipulative way, and I was very good at it until it was unconscious too, and eventually I kind of realized it. And I actively had to like stop making myself do that. That's why I'm a very bluntly honest person now, because I also grew up a very good liar.
Do you know where that came from?
No, I think I mean my mom was a detective, and she could never tell when I was lying, even though like she went through all this training on how to detect a liar. And maybe it was because she told me all the tricks to detecting a liar, or maybe there's just something weird about me that makes it hard for people to tell that I'm lying. Maybe just because I'm a storyteller. I don't know. But yeah, it's just I decided to just stop manipulating people, stop lying. Like I don't like I'll be brutally honest about things a lot of the time. Like I'll try to sugarcoat it a little bit, but yeah, yeah.
So you feel that most of the things that you've tried to change or avoid were things that you observed in yourself, and you're like, I don't really want to be that kind of person anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, that is really that's you being self-aware, which is I think something that we all can benefit from doing, just like reflecting on ourselves and finding the things. And see, I think what a lot of people struggle with is finding the balance between not going towards the self-hate route, which would be like, I am such a bad this, I'm terrible at this, I have no talents, oh my god, I'm a liar, whatever. Like, and instead of doing that, reflect and look at your life and be like, okay, well, I don't like that part of myself, I think I could improve this, but there's also all these good things about me, let's enhance them by improving those things or cutting down on whatever part you don't like about yourself.
I think I've even brought it up in your Discord at times when people like say stuff about themselves that they don't like. I'm just like, you can fix that. There are things to do about that.
Yeah.
Like I used to have anger issues as well, and I talked at length about that.
Yeah, I think you lose when you accept, like, oh, well, this is just who I am. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I do feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit. Like, human beings are so interesting and so fluid when they want to be. Like, we can change ourselves. I know people say, like, well, this is a belief thing. I believe that people can change if you really want to, and if you put your mind to it and the effort is there. I believe you can change yourself. And just don't kind of throw your hands up, because then no one's going to benefit from that, right? All your future interactions and your interactions with your feelings about yourself, they're not going to change. They're not going to help you're not going to help yourself. So.
In that same vein, there's something else I remembered.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to make too many excuses.
Oh, that's a good, like, for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing I really, when I was a supervisor, you know, I get people calling me and being like, I'm going to be late, and they give me a whole reason why they're going to be late. I'm like, you could have just stopped it. I'm going to be late. I don't care why.
Right.
Like, it's, you know, and if people, whenever people would call me and like have this elaborate story for why they're going to be late, the more that they went on, the less I believed their story. Just like, just say you left late then. I don't know. Like,
so yeah, sorry guys, excuse me, my phone is like dead. It's a
is
goner.
that your brand new phone?
It's a goner. Nope, it's the old one.
Oh, okay.
Well,
okay. I was gonna say, if that's the new one,
yeah, I know, Sam.
There's another.
That wasn't one.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Now I know. I'm sorry. I was trying to pull up the next question once you guys were ready, and then my phone just went like that. So now I know that I can't use it anymore. But can you repeat the last little bit that you said, Dee, please?
I just said that if people like
make the excuses, it makes it less believable.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, if you're gonna come up with this big story about why you're gonna be late, just say. Just like, I know that you just woke up late, or you left late, or you forgot, or you're playing a video game, and like, you know,
yep, we've all been there.
I don't care the reason, just get here.
Yeah,
like I care more if you don't show up than if you show up late.
Okay, so by that same token, if someone does you wrong, and they're apologizing, do you want them to explain why they're sorry, or do you just take the apology?
If somebody apologizes to me?
Yeah, like if they're saying like, I'm sorry because, or I did that to you because, and it kind of comes off like an excuse. Do you want the reason?
I can't really think of a situation like that.
Okay.
Like a lot of time, and I feel like this is kind of something that, let me look at your questions again. I feel like it's kind of something that.
Oh, it's in another question.
Oh, actually, no, I guess it's not. It's just kind of, for me, it's a lot of time, the way I live my life is just things happen and it just happened. Like that was it. Like, let's move on. And yeah, so I feel like I'm kind of that way with just apologies, where it's like, it's okay, we'll move on. You know,
you don't draw it out and okay, that's good.
Like I can't really find anything to relate to that part of the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, do you want to go ahead?
Sorry, yeah, I just was fucking. It was
Oh, it
The
was
opposite of the first
the
question,
opposite
right?
of the first one. Yeah.
Okay. Whew, let me see. There's a lot of things that I don't like that I actively avoid.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can't even say a good relationship. I don't have a relationship with my parents. Um, just because of like years and years of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, right? So like there's a lot of things that I have come to realize that it's because of things I've seen in them or things that they've done that like try to I just anything to not be that. So like we were hit as kids when we would act up, but like my dad would kind of take it a bit too far if he was the one who had to do it. Like he doesn't remember this. It was brought up in an argument, but he doesn't remember. But when me and my brother, I have an older brother, when we were younger, if my mom wasn't around, uh, he would have to reprimand us or whatever. Sometimes he would lift us up by our necks.
Oh my god.
Um,
Freaking, that's
and
awful.
that's just I don't care how bad I was.
Right.
I don't think that's acceptable. So like in any future, if I have kids, like that's just something that's totally unacceptable to me. And like, there's ways to reprimand a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. But also, my parents are super bad hoarders. So like, when I see that I have too many things, I need to get rid of stuff.
Yes.
And I don't care if it's something that like I kind of like or whatever, but like if I don't need it, I need to purge. I need to get rid of stuff and I need it out because I don't want to be like that. Like half the house I grew up in, more than half the house I grew up in was just filled with junk that like they never touched ever, but it would be worth something someday.
Right. Do you feel like in the back of your mind something is triggered when you start to see your things pile up? It's like an automatic response, like, okay, nope,
Oh, yeah.
nope, we're getting to a point. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like deep in your head, like that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I've told some friends like the horror stories of growing up in my house, and like parents aren't the worst people, but they were. It was very much like this is their things, this is their house. If you don't like it, get out.
Yeah.
Which I can understand to a degree, but mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. We
Yeah.
wouldn't have people over because like they were embarrassed of how things were, but they wouldn't do anything about it. And if you suggest something, you're stepping on their toes. Um, or you're telling them how to live their lives, and that was just unacceptable to them. So, uh, when it comes to change and things like that, I get that change for anyone can be like a scary
Very
thing, but
hard
like
and very hard. Yeah.
just trying to force yourself to allow that and to embrace it. Like, I mean, even something as little as like throwing some stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
You if it's so important, maybe put it to the side and think about it later. But like, just be honest with yourself and know like, I don't really need this, or God forbid I do need it, I can get another one or something like that. Like vanity is never helpful. And especially if it comes to family, which is more important, your stuff or your family?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the mindset that I have about a lot of things at this point. And also, like, I mean, with all my family stuff, like, it's more so that I choose who my family is at this point,
Yeah.
Because, like, that's my immediate family, and
not by choice, but
yeah. So they're not really in my life, but like there's a lot of things that I see either in myself or that I've done or that I do that it's because of how I grew up and stuff like that just either I go the exact opposite way or I'm like, okay, yeah, that's why I do that.
Yeah, and you acknowledge it. And I think it's really important what Hadriel mentioned, that it's a difficult saying change. He acknowledges that change is a difficult thing. And in the book that I was reading, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, he mentions in there that change and basically sometimes stripping yourself and rebuilding yourself or refining yourself, it's not supposed to be a super fun and exciting and like super great process. It's supposed to be grueling and exhausting because that's just what it takes to come out on top. That's just what it takes to refine yourself and become better. And I think that you also brought up another great point, which is when someone acknowledges that we're embarrassed for people, like having people over because we're hoarders or because we have a lot of stuff, but they don't do anything about it. And I think a lot of people have met people like that where they're complaining about things in their life, but they don't do anything about it. And I think that is so frustrating to listen to people constantly complain, like, I don't have a job, oh my god, I hate school. And it's just like, okay, but okay, you hate school, like, let's work through that. But they don't even want to work through it with you. They're just stuck at that part in their life where they just don't do anything about changing their life, right? If you don't like your life, let's see how we can work together to fix it. But I think a lot of people just
about it.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are not looking for that. I think they just want to, like, they enjoy wallowing in how terrible their life is, which is scary.
Man, exactly.
Yeah.
Playing victim runs in my family big time. My brother does it. My parents do it. It's not their fault. I mean, I've done it. You know, I try to catch it when I do it. But like,
similar vein, and X, stop me if I'm going to step on your toes here. But do you guys have to deal with people who like try to one up your misery?
Oh my god.
Oh, yes.
it's not a contest.
Oh my god.
Like, misery is misery.
We're all sad.
Struggles are struggles.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like something like,
Especially when they do it really badly.
Yeah.
I haven't talked about this. My dog is injured currently, and it might be bone cancer. And I talked to my. I'm feeling better about it now because it's been weeks. I've made a little more peace with it, and she might not be cancer. I should know tomorrow probably. But I was talking to my mom. I was talking to both my parents about this because I'm like, maybe they'll help me out, figure with money wise, figuring out what this is, getting her some treatment if there's any treatment we can do. And my mom was like, well, I spent $2,000 on one of my dogs because he was blind and gotten back most of his vision. If we could do it again, like we wouldn't have done that. Because he was happy being blind. It was like blindness wasn't going to kill your dog. Like
it's bad. Don't get me wrong. Like but it's different. Right. It's different, man.
Yeah, and it's not that dog. Melody's under the table right now. That's my mom's dog, and she'll be gone in a couple of days.
Damn. X, you want to go ahead?
Okay. So I'm gonna be changing topic to like the not topic, the scenario to like a workplace scenario. So things I see in people that I don't want to become or like try to avoid. So things I've seen in the workplace, you're gonna be working in a workplace where you don't like some of your coworkers. It's life. That's just how it is. But fortunately for me, I like all my coworkers. I don't care who I work with, etc. And there are times when I hear like a coworker talking about another coworker, like saying they're doing this wrong, whatever, in like a negative tone, or like they will go to the manager and like complain about this coworker, etc. Right? And like I think I don't want to. I'm the type of coworker who like if I see someone do something wrong, I would talk to them, but not in a positive way. So here's some examples. Like, so one of my job, I'm a bartender at a restaurant, and there are times when, say, we're training a new bartender, like we're switching someone we're just changing their title to bartender from one of our employees, and say they're like training under another bartender, like I'm one of the alpha bartenders. That's what we call ourselves, like the 4 or 5 original bartenders, whatever. And then, so when they like train under another alpha bartender, most of the time they don't like training under that person because that person's always yelling at this person
my
or
God.
complaining about them. But for some reason, everyone likes to train under me. Not to be conceited or biased or whatever, but because when I train people, when they're like doing something wrong, I talk to them. I'm like, hey, make sure don't do that way, because if you get caught by the manager doing this, whatever, you'll get in trouble. But so like talks like that kind of like it helps them like learn faster or whatever. And there are times when they have to like come back for training, they will ask if I'm working.
Because they just wanted.
Because they rather have train under me than than the other alpha bartenders, etc. And I think this happened. 3 of our new bartenders, they would prefer to train under me so far than the other alphas, because it just so that's one thing that I don't want to become like those people who are like, oh, I don't like what you're doing. Also, my other job, I work at a physical therapy clinic, and that's like, it's chaotic every single day. And we all love each other, but like there are times when like my coworkers like say, oh, you're annoying, blah blah. They would like talk about another coworker, oh, you're annoying, blah blah, and
like to their face.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
To their face.
Well,
yeah.
At least it's to their face. I prefer that, to be honest.
Yeah, but then like I think you gotta have an open mind of how they work, because like the person that they're complaining about, he's like the youngest guy working there, so like he learns at a different pace than everyone else. He's like what I'm trying to say here. Okay, basically, he learns at a different pace, and like you gotta understand that he's young. Yelling at him is not gonna like change the way he, whatever.
I think
and
people
then, like,
rarely learn when you yell at them. Like it's usually explain, talk to them. Yeah.
And then when we had another person transfer over from another clinic to our location, people already complaining about that person. They were like, "Oh, tell the therapist, like, oh, they don't like the way she's working, blah blah," and like, well, so that's where I come in. I come in like, hey, I talk to that person and like talk to them in a positive way. Hey, make sure you don't have your phone out in the clinic, because if the boss catches you, you'll be in big trouble with something. Like just talks like that, like, because if you see a problem and you're not gonna tell that person there is a problem, then it's not a problem to begin with.
Yeah. Because how are they gonna know?
They're not gonna know it's a problem, So yeah, that's my answer to that question.
And I like that you mentioned that how are they going to know if there's no problem, because that can be applied to literally any type of relationship, whether it's coworkers, boyfriend, girlfriend, or like partners, friends.
Also, and the times when my coworkers go tell like the boss and manager, they don't do anything. The boss and manager, they don't do anything. They're just like, oh, it's okay. Like they just leave it hanging.
Yeah.
So the person will never know that they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And
I think in relationships, there's this, I guess, stereotype that women don't talk about their feelings, and they just like boil up inside, and they just give you the silent treatment, like, you know what you did wrong. And the guy's like, wait, what? Sorry. I hurt you? How? When did I mess up? And I actually think that both, it's possible that men and women do this. I do understand that unfortunately it is more women than men, but the best thing that we can do to avoid being like that is just talk to them. How are they supposed to know they messed up? Like, you might see something as a problem. They, because of their experiences, the way they've been brought up, whatever it is, they might not see it as a problem. So you getting mad and boiling up inside, ruining your day and your night and the next day and the next day, while they're going on with their life all peacefully, is not going to solve the problem. So just talk about it, and you don't have to blow up at them. You can just have a sit down with them and be like, listen, you really hurt me when you said this and this and this. It really upset me because it made me feel like this and this and this, and I just don't like it when you talk to me like that. I know confrontation is hard. I know a few people in chat have said it's really hard for confrontation is hard, but sometimes the most important things are actually usually the hardest to say, and the things that can make the most impact in your life are difficult. Like, it's not meant to be easy, to break those kinds of walls and make those changes.
I'm not the best at like used to not be the best at communication.
It's hard.
At it now.
Yeah.
Another thing, courtesy of my folks, it's hard to open up to them because they would make it about them. So, I would just not talk to them anymore and just kind of deal with my crap by myself, or and that kind of carried over into like relationships and stuff. And like, I mean, it was a two-way street, but looking back at it now, like, yeah, maybe things could have gone differently if I had opened up and talked to them and let them know how I feel. It's still weird to talk about how I feel and stuff a lot of the time, but like, I'm not helping anyone by keeping it in. Even if it's gonna cause a problem,
Yeah. Dee, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, can I make a point? Just
go for
an
it.
observation about just the topic of self-improvement in general is because I've gone through my own. Sophie.
That's so cute.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation here.
Also, Katie, thank you so much for the follow. You saw that, Raven. That was you. You are now under my wing. Welcome. Also, hi, Yigan. Sorry. Go for it.
Okay. So yeah, like I've gone through my own like phases of self-improvement. Like I've taken off time from dating because I didn't want the person I was to be in a relationship. Because I knew that when I stopped improving, or when I got into a relationship, my improvement would kind of stall. Because I'd be like, well, I'm good enough for this person, so. But I feel like the more that I look at these questions, like more I'm realizing like that all of the changes I've gone through, I've kind of forgotten some of it. Like I've forgotten where I started. I forgot what I've done to get to where I am. So it's like so it's kind of like difficult to really help a lot of people when you get to a point of like, like I can tell somebody like, oh, hey, you're going to get better at this thing,
right?
Like, but it's like, you want it now, and it's like you have to have a growth mindset, like to get better. And like I know this because I am where I am now, but it's difficult to go back and piece together how you got to where you are. It's very similar to when you become advanced at a skill and things seem very easy to you and you're just trying to explain it. You have to go down to the basics to explain to people what it is. And
it's hard.
Yeah, I think it's just an interesting thing about
progress,
self-improvement in general. Because like people are just like, well, look at me, I did all these things and now I'm here. And it's just like, it's not that easy.
It's not. And I think that's why it's so important to acknowledge that it is difficult and it is going to be a grueling and exhausting process. And anyone who says otherwise, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. But I think any of us who have been trying to improve ourselves or have improved ourselves in other aspects of our life can definitely say that it is hard. It's tough. And I think something that I struggle with is when I improve myself and then I find myself relapsing or making a mistake that I did in the past. I am so hard on myself, and it's difficult to not be hard on yourself. And I think
it's so easy to come down.
Oh, yes. And be like, wait, I thought you were making this kind of progress. Why are you regressing in your ways? And I think that's why it's important to have good people around you that don't push you down. I don't know what it is about people.
Preach.
There are some people out there that enjoy bringing you down, and they will actually freaking come at you when you're making improvements in your life, saying like, "Oh, you've changed. You're a different person."
For the better.
For the better.
Yeah. I was about to say I'm not a different person. I'm a better person.
Yeah, and I'm sorry you don't see that or you don't like that, but I think that is their own insecurity speaking. And that's why it's very important, I think, to have the right kind of people around you that are maybe on the same journey too. If they're improving themselves too, I find it very hard to believe that they would come down on you, so.
For me, it was a lot of books.
Ooh, what you mean?
Like, well, actually, I read a lot of books on writing, and that actually surprisingly helped because there are a lot of like ones, got a lot that point out like if you just like I've talked about before, like just writing for 30 minutes a day. I wrote a whole novel in a month. Like
that's awesome.
Month and a half. Like, and then I got to a second draft within another month, and it's like just that 30 minutes a day.
Chipping away.
48th of your day, got me there. And now I'm working on another draft of that novel. But one book that if I could just throw book recommendations out there, some people have probably read it. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is a great book.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's actually on my list. Kelsey says, I find it, I'm trying to get better at mentioning when things bother me to people, but I feel like a lot of people who aren't great at communication, or they feel like you're attacking them. Yeah, it's hard to take. Some people take it personally when it's not like you're attacking them. You're literally just saying that you made me feel this way.
Something that am I muted?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Also, hi Ninja. Yes.
One thing I learned about when confronting people or like giving constructive criticism, I find it helpful when you lead with the good and then end with the bad. So like, say for example, it could be like, hey, I like that you're learning really fast, coming from training a new person, whatever, from work or something. I like that you're learning really fast. You like you're picking up things easily, like your working your work ethic is really nice, blah blah blah. Let's say that you start with the positive and then you
sandwich
end with
it.
the bad. Sandwich it. Yeah, you end with the bad, like but just like go ahead and like if you could change this and like not do that, blah blah, like stuff like that, and then end with the good. Yeah. It helps.
It does help, yeah. And Ninja, I completely agree. The hardest and most awkward conversations are usually the most important. I can be that way sometimes, but it's usually out of being overly nice. I have been trying to be a lot more blunt, stern, clear with other people. And I think that also has something to do with maybe the way that we were raised for certain people. I know for me, I was raised to be extremely polite, but at the same time, I wasn't raised to be assertive. So that's something I had to learn on my own. And I find myself I used to a lot beat around the bush. When I needed to say something, I'd be like, maybe you'd like benefit from maybe not doing this as much, instead of just saying, you hurt me. I didn't realize that you could still be honest and straightforward without being disrespectful and hurtful. And I think that's also another important point that is good to keep in your mind. Some people feel like if I'm blunt and honest, that just means I can be a dick and be hurtful. You can be honest and straightforward, but still be polite and get your point across. Does that make sense?
True.
I hate when people are like, I'm just being honest. Yeah, you can be honest and not an asshole about
That's it. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
You can still take people's feelings into consideration and still be like, hey, you messed up, or whatever.
Exactly. And I think and I know for me, I learn better when someone comes at me with like love and kindness and care, and they just say like, listen, you really hurt my feelings, or that was not cool what you did, like it really made me feel like crap. I prefer that over someone like blowing up at me, because I think for me, I know people don't like this, but I can't help it. I cry really easily. So if I really care about you and you come at me yelling, I'm gonna start crying. And this is not even me trying to like play the victim or make it about me. It's just a natural response, because I feel so bad that I hurt you this much that you're like coming at me, and I just want to fix it. I just want to fix it, and I'll just cry. I'll obviously like
but they
listen
also have
and
to
all
fix
that.
Stuff, because how are you gonna know it's a problem if they never talk to you?
Yeah, and they're just coming at me guns blazing.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, like if I'm totally like, I've gotten better. I would like to think at accepting feedback, negative feedback. Like if someone says you did this and this and this, I think before I would get super defensive, and it's hard not to get defensive, but I've been trying to work on that part of myself and just be like, it's don't try to take it like personal, like they're telling you you're a terrible person. It's just, we're human, we're going to mess up, like we can't be perfect all the time, and that's okay. You just need to make sure that someone who's explaining that to you is not attacking necessarily like your character and using that one instance to just sum up your whole character. It's just that one instance, a standalone mistake you made, and that's it, and you move forward from that. You know what else I don't like? When someone is telling you that you messed up and they drag it. Have you guys ever been in a conversation where they're just like constantly, yeah, because it really made me feel like that, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I totally messed up. And then they will just drag it on and on and on, and then bring it up the next day too. And you're like, I thought we resolved this. Like, I don't understand why you're bringing this up again.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's really
exactly
annoying.
what you mean. Well, not
like
against
that.
me, but go ahead.
I'm
What?
just gonna step away for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Gotta run to the bathroom. Be right back.
Numb
I feel like I
Willie.
actually used to do something like that because, but it was
Oh,
more like,
I used to do that too, and now
Yeah.
I find it super annoying.
like, well, it's in. This might be similar, where like you're in an argument, and then you think of other arguments later, and you're just like, hey, remember that argument we were having yesterday?
No. Oh yeah.
Like you come up with comebacks.
Well,
in your
I
head,
forgot that I wanted to
ahead of
say
time. Is that what you're
this.
saying? Is that what you're saying, D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
I do
bring it
that.
up.
I do the
Oh my
same thing.
god.
Okay, I do the same thing with like I think of like arguments in my head and I think about what they're gonna say and I come up with the comeback and I think of their comeback to that comeback and I think of my comeback to that comeback. It's yeah, it's it's kind of funny.
I have an easier time keeping it under control now, but I have a relationship with somebody in my life, and you all know who, and where it bottles up over time, and just suddenly it's just like, no, I need to let all this out.
Right.
Now.
Yeah. Right now, bring up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's something that we're conscious about, and it's something that we can improve from. And now that we're conscious of it, we can work towards not being that person if we're choosing not to be that person. Cool. The next questiones that I have for you guys is, what is one aspect of yourself that you struggle with loving, or something that you used to struggle with loving about yourself but have overcome? It can be an aspect, like a physical aspect. It can be an emotional, internal, whatever. So, hey, Jill, you want to start us off?
Oh, damn. I don't like a lot about myself, and Facebook reminds me of that all the time, every day.
Wait, what you mean? What you mean?
This is where you roast yourself.
Yeah, they have that on this day thing, and it shows you like things you've posted or said. Like,
Oh
however many years ago.
no! Yikes!
Ooh, you're like, oh, I was one of those.
I was one of those. Oh my
I
god!
delete so much of that.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
shown it,
Yes.
And I'm just.
You're like, why? Why did I do this?
Yeah, but I don't know. I hate the sound of my voice. I don't like the way I look. Like, these are like genuine issues that I have with myself, and accepting a lot of those things it's very difficult. I mean, for anyone. For the first time, I've been on many like fitness binges before. And like I've never seen results. Like I think the longest was like a year and a half of like working out consistently, doing everything right, and seeing no progress. And
Oh my god!
that
Yeah.
fucking sucks. And it was so like, I don't know, diminishing on my I don't know, outlook of myself. And then for the first time in like ever, maybe a year or two ago, maybe 3 at this point, I got back on to working out and stuff, and actually saw some results. Like even however minute it was, and like just seeing that was like thrilling, and I was like, okay, all right, we can change this now. We can feel better about ourselves. Seeing that little bit was just like, all right, I can do this now, and maybe I can get myself to a place where like I don't hate the way I look. And that's like, I don't know, I'm very, very insecure about that stuff. Drinking carrot juice to make me dummy thick, yeah, Gab. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very self-conscious about that kind of stuff, and it also helps to have some friends who are very reassuring. However much I don't want to believe them, it's still very very helpful. And yeah, I don't know. That's my thing. I hate the way I look and a lot of other things about myself, but like one at a time, and I'm working on it.
Yeah. And do you feel like now that you're actually conscious of these feelings that you have for yourself and your body, you can attack them and like kind of shut them down, or try to at least combat them?
I mean, I don't know. I've always been conscious of that. I like
Don't like
dread
yourself?
myself.
Yeah.
But like talking about it has been a recent thing in like maybe the past couple of years, and like that has kind of helped a lot. I think.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
One of like the major things that I've seen in the hindsight of all this is that talking about things makes me feel so much better.
Oh my
But
god.
being able to talk about them makes me feel better. And kind of lets me actually, like think next steps and stuff.
Being able to, meaning you having the ability to, or you having people in your life that make you able to?
Yeah, having people in my life that
Okay.
like I feel like I can talk to and feel comfortable, expressing things to, like period. Because like I don't even know how long, like maybe up until like a little after high school, like, it was kind of like I don't have anyone to like. I have friends, but I don't have people that I can like talk to.
Yeah, like those deep, meaningful conversations.
Yeah, yeah, like that I would feel safe talking to. Not that I had friends that I could have talked to, but I didn't realize it really. So like there was just a turning point. At some point, things went down, and I had some friends pull me aside and be like, "Hey, like we're here for you. We joke around and we do stupid stuff, but like you can talk to us." And like there was just a point where it was like, okay, how did I not see this? And let me actually take them up on this. And like even on Twitch, like I've opened up about things like hating my voice and hating the way I look and all that kind of stuff. I think on a stream is like one of the first times I like had talked about that,
I
and
love
people seem to
that.
have been shocked that I would. And I'm just like, yeah, no, have you seen me? I don't like it. But like, and then they're very I don't even know
Supportive
the word.
about it,
Very
I guess. Like,
supportive.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, and it's I suck with words sometimes. It's been like, I don't know, life changing, life altering to have that. So like being able to have that makes everything that follows so much easier.
Yeah, communication, man. It's really key, and
Yeah.
just getting it out there. And D?
X, can you go first? Because I'm working on something.
Oh, sure.
It's working.
Well,
Okay.
one of my aspects is, I guess, similar to Heiju over here, because one of the struggles I've had to deal with my whole life was also my weight or whatever. Because my whole entire life I was classified as underweight according to the BMI index, whatever, and the chart, whatever. Yeah, and I hated how underweight I was, and I think it was like as of last year, I was no longer classified as underweight. Because I started out working out a lot. Yeah, Raven, I started out working out a lot, start eating a lot more. Like, I decided to add breakfast to my schedule.
Which makes a difference.
Yeah, and I also try to avoid cardio because like both my jobs, I'm always standing up and like walking or whatever. So that's why that's why I'm dying every time I do the T25, whatever, all those cardio stuff.
You're
I
like,
don't do
"I've been
cardio. So yeah. But like since that's similar to Hey Joe, I guess I'll change it up. So another thing, not many people know about this. So you guys are one of the few people who know about this. Only a couple of my friends know, but I grew up with problems with emotions. I don't express it enough. Like people, some of my close friends, whatever, they were like call me like a robot or like cold-hearted, whatever, because I show no emotions growing up. So like for example, say like a death in the family, right? We go to the funeral. I'm like the only one not crying, like just there. I'm just there. Or like I don't know how to genuinely express that I'm thankful for someone when I say thank you to something, or like know how to show love, or like how it feels to like have a crush on someone, or just anything with emotions. And
is it the phrasing that you have issue with, or actually just getting to the point of talking about it?
But actually feeling it too. Like it's like there's a wall, and like wall between me and
your feelings.
Feelings, yeah.
They're naturally
And,
happening, and you just don't
yeah,
know it.
like I know what I should be feeling, but I'm not feeling it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Etc.
Totally get it.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure. I mean, it's gotten better. I'm not exactly sure when I overcome it, but
Mhm.
like I think I first experienced it when I had happy tears. Yeah, and I had the first time in my life I had happy tears. It was actually at that camp that I was talking about, the leadership camp, because that camp changed my
Change
whole
your
life.
life, yeah.
It
seems
changed
like it.
my whole life. First, I think it was in 2013, 2012 when I first went to this camp. I think it's 2012 or 2013 when I first went to this camp, and I think the moment when I had those happy tears, I think it unlocked something, and from then on, I started feeling more stuff, etc.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one. I know I struggle with that sometimes too, and I think it's a defense thing. For me, it's when I was growing up, we moved around so much that I kept like losing friends. So for me, a thing that I've naturally developed is shutting off after I get, if as soon as my body realizes or my heart realizes I'm getting close to someone, there will be this like automatic response of just shutting down, and I'll just be like numb and cold, and my heart would just be like cold. Like I can easily just walk away, and it's something that I have to actively fight against, and I have to be cognizant that and like realize that God, this is happening. And sometimes it's even gotten to the point where if I feel like I could possibly get close to someone, I will tell them beforehand, like, listen, this is something that I actually struggle with. It's a real thing that happens inside of me. So if I start pulling away, please don't think it's a you thing. It's just a natural response, and I hope we can talk about it. So I have had instances where it starts to happen, and then I message the person saying it's happening, and like I don't know what to do with these feelings. So, and I think sometimes at that moment when the person is reassuring and they're kind of show me that they're there and they're not running away, they're there to stay, it helps. But I can kind of relate with the whole like just not feeling anything, and it's scary how it just suddenly happens. Very scary.
Yeah, like Abby just said, it tends to be all or nothing with friends. They're constantly, when I feel like I'm being annoying or overwhelming, I pull away.
Yes.
And like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think I struggled with that after I went through my the serious relationship that I had a few years ago, and it ended. I really questioned my self-worth, and I questioned my contribution to people's lives, and my value, and I like forgot who I was. So anytime someone was around me, I constantly felt like I was a burden, and it felt like, you know, this is going to be such a bad example, but like it felt like someone was like I was paying them to spend time with me. You know that feeling where it's like they're only doing it with you or spending time with you because they're getting something out of it. But they don't actually care about it. You could be anyone, literally. It's not a you thing. They're just here because they're getting something out of it. And I can understand how you feel, Gabby. I don't know if that's exactly how you feel, but like that's what your comment makes me think of. Everyone in my family does that, and I hate it. I literally never try to bring up the... Yeah, that's something I've actually... Sorry, going back, I know I'm behind in chat. That's something I actively try to do. Like, I've worked on this because I used to do that a lot. I used to bring up things or like drag things on, and it's fairly annoying. So once something is done, I try to just leave it in the past, and I tell the person too, like, can we just not talk about this again? There's really no need for this. Oh, I should probably tell you guys what I don't like about myself. I used to hate my teeth. It used to be a thing that I was made fun of a lot growing up. I don't know, and just kids are mean. Oh shit. Yeah, kids are mean, and sometimes we don't realize that the bullying, or people don't realize that the bullying that they do when they're a kid, it can have lasting effects on people. And I think as a parent, if you are a parent or a teacher and you witness this kind of behavior, don't just play it off like, oh, they're just kids, or like boys will be boys or girls will be girls, they're just kids. It's way more serious than that. Bullying is a serious issue that has lasting effects on people. And yes, I know there are people out there who are just like, well, it's healthy for people to learn because it makes you a stronger person. But I think the emotional effects of those things, those type of actions, really do stick with you. So it's important that if you see that kind of behavior, talk about it, cut it right when it happens, and don't just dismiss it like childish behavior, because it's so much more than that. So yeah, my teeth was a thing, and now it's no longer a thing. Now it's no longer a thing. Like, I've just grown to accept that this is how my teeth are. I could pay money to fix my teeth, but honestly, I don't really care. D, go for it.
I mean, I was just gonna say my voice.
Oh.
Really? You know how many compliments you've gotten on your voice? Oh my god.
Yeah, but like it's
You don't like your
no.
voice.
But the question was something that you used to not.
Yeah, or something that you currently struggle with.
Right. Because like a lot of the time and actually I still, whenever I listen back to clips and whatever, I'm still listening to myself and just like, I don't like the way my voice sounds. Because it always sounds like deeper in your own head or whatever.
Yes. Twisted, distorted some way.
Yeah, but like when I started out, like I used to be on YouTube, and when I started doing that, editing videos, I would have to listen to myself, and like doing that, I ended up like figuring out what about my voice I didn't like, and I kind of worked on it.
Ooh.
But before that, like I would call places, and I just didn't really have a very strong voice, I guess, and I would talk. I don't know. I didn't talk from the chest.
Okay.
That was something that I kind of built up from being a lifeguard, like, to project so I could yell across decks. Like I would call places. There at least one time that I can remember where I was called ma'am on the phone.
Oh, my brother has had that done to
Oh my
him.
God.
Yes.
Dude, I still get called ma'am to this day.
Like where like, you
Same.
call and you're just like, hey, can you connect me to Eric? Just like speaking from the head, doing your head voice instead of your chest voice. And it's just like, oh no. Like for a while I was just like, maybe they said man.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you said in your head like maybe they just said man?
Yeah.
Did that make you feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's good. My brother used to get called ma'am a lot. Hello, ma'am. And then they would carry the conversation. He's like, why do they always call me ma'am? So that's
But then I would
that's a thing.
then I would carry, like when I got through to whoever I was trying to talk to, I'd be like, hi.
Hi. Yeah.
No, you know what's worse is when you get called ma'am in person too.
Ooh, I never had that
Oh
one.
my god.
Yeah, because at the
Bro.
restaurant I work with mostly it's mostly females that works around the bar. It's like, and there's only two guys, me and this other guy, but he barely works. So I get called ma'am a lot at the bar.
No, why you don't? I don't. What?
I think I think it's just the fact that majority of the people in around the bar are females. So like most of the people that serves them are females, and then like when I come along, they just used to saying ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the South too, where everything is ma'am.
Yeah, that's true. And you guys have sir too, or no? More ma'am.
I say both. I say sir and ma'am.
Yeah, I remember in Texas, that was a big thing. We used to have to say that to our teachers. Yeah, yes, ma'am. All right. What are 5 words that you could use to encompass your life or values? If you don't have 5, you can even just say 1. Hey,
Yeah, I don't have 5.
Hadria.
Wait, do we have to explain why we have?
Yeah,
these 5
just
words?
say your 1. You could just say your 1 and then explain why.
I don't know. My values, I guess.
Mhm.
Give me like 2 seconds.
Mm.
Like, okay, we're gonna be cheesy, but like,
Ain't
love,
no thing.
positivity,
I love cheesy.
integrity,
Cheesy is one of the words?
fun. Yeah.
Oh,
I love cheese.
cheesy. Yeah. Love cheese.
Yeah, I guess cheesy. I fucking embrace the cheesy moment. But yeah, love and positivity, integrity, fun, and cheesiness. You gotta get that cheddar, you know? You gotta
Absolutely.
get that cheese going on in your life. Yeah, I don't know. things could be cheesy, but like, yeah, it's good. But yeah,
I
kind of
like
everything.
cheesy. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a
I've
great
never
one.
heard anyone use cheesy as
I
one of
love
their
cheesy.
life values, cores, whatever. But that's a good one.
Please, sir, more cheese.
Excuse me, can I have some?
I love that.
Yeah.
D, what about you? Or sorry, hey Joe, go for it.
Oh no, I got nothing. I'm just.
Okay.
Growth.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, it's something that kind of came up when I was going through. This is probably just going to be my one word.
I love it. Let's
Like,
go.
the other two are going to throw in there were resilience and empathy. But like I feel like I have to explain growth, because this was one of the things when I was in
Lifeguard.
doing an education class
Okay.
track when I was learning to be a teacher, which I'm not a teacher. We had to we learned about the growth mindset, and it's kind of just this thing of kids get stuck thinking like, oh, I can't do this now, I'm never going to be able to do it. And you've seen my artistic skills grow. You've seen some of my old drawings and whatever, and even my old stories sucked. It's just like over time, knowing that over time things do improve, and it sucks to have to put in that time investment, but like knowing how to grow is
knowing
important.
how to grow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, knowing how to teach yourself, how to find ways to teach yourself is important to me. Like, growth is important to me.
Has growth always been important to you, or did you get to a certain place in your life where you're like, I need to grow more?
It was, but not in a healthy way. It was more of a what's the term? The instant gratification. Like, that's what I wanted. It was just like, I would have like an image in my head of a drawing that I wanted to make, a draw I wanted to do, and I couldn't make it come to life. I had like a perfect, vivid image of it in my head. Like, I'm like, okay, let me just put that on paper. And it's just like, I can't. So, learning that I was drawing wrong, basically, like that I had the whole idea of drawing wrong. Like, I didn't know how to do construction.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like, oh, this is the profile of a face, like that kind of deal. I thought just people learned how to do that, and instead of actually knowing how to break it down to simple shapes.
Right.
So that's a very simple, superficial example, but just knowing that things can be learned over time, that things happen slowly over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Because that can be applied to, I know you applied it to art, but it's really anything. It's patience, it's commitment, it's having the drive to continue, because sometimes we lose the willpower.
Yeah.
So that's persistence. That's another one. X?
Okay. So positivity is one of mine. Hadrio took it. Damn you. But yeah. Because I feel like it's a waste of energy just to be negative. So that's why I think positivity is one of the core values of life. Another word, leadership, because I believe that everyone is a leader in some way, whether you're good, whether you're bad, whether you're passive, whether you're aggressive, you're a leader in some way. Another word, adaptability. I'm not muted, right? Because y'all guys look frozen to me. Okay.
No, I'm listening. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Could you, adaptability. Let's see. Knowledge. There's always room to learn some stuff, new things, etc. And teamwork, because in life you need a support system to get to where you need to be.
Yes.
You can't do things alone. You can't do things solo. So yeah, those are my words.
Those are good ones. And have you always been? Ooh.
Wait, what?
Have you
What happened?
always been?
Put it in chat.
What's that called? Have you always been like open to teamwork and collaborating with people, or have you usually been solo and that's a lesson you learned?
I kind of both. There are times where I like to do things myself, but then
You
it's just
recognize.
it's just easier when you have someone to help you. You
Yeah.
know, like it's they take so much weight out of you. Yeah, like I was in that organization I was used to be part of. I was like the media director, and where I had to like do lots of graphics, digital art, videos, photos, whatever. And I had a team, and most of the time I just do everything myself. But then like they were always there like, hey, do you need help? I could go to the photo shoot if you want of your whatever to help you. I could do this graphics if you want. Like it's just it takes a lot of weight off my shoulders
Yeah.
when you have a team or like have a support group that's there for you.
Yeah. It's so beautiful actually having a team that is just as passionate about the project that you are, and you guys both, you all collectively work towards a similar goal, and there's trust, which makes it so beautiful. And that's why it's very important to have the right type of people around you. I think if I had to choose one of the many that encompass my life, it would be transparency, because I've realized, or transparency slash honesty, and communication, of course, like just good, trying to have good open communicate, transparent communication, clear, transparent communication, honest
I think
communication.
transparency is honest communication.
Boom.
Kinda, yeah.
There you go. So that's my thing. I used to struggle with communication because when I was growing up, there was just a lot of stuff going on in my family that I wanted to talk about, and I had no one to talk to about it. I always had to be like the good kid out of all the kids. I always had to be the strong one, the more mature one, even though I'm like the third youngest, the one who has everything together, the one who does no wrong, the one, like, there was always so much pressure placed upon me, and I held myself to that high standard and degree that even if I was struggling with things, I never wanted my parents to know, and I never wanted to open up to them about it. First of all, because they already have so much on their plate, so I didn't want to add to that. So that affected me in the way that I wasn't able to express myself and talk about my feelings. And I know that might come off strange to some of you, because I seem very open and like I communicate a lot, but I wasn't always like this. I had to actively work on this. So now what I try to do is I try to work on my communication, try to make it as honest and as clear as possible, just to not mislead people, to make sure as much as I can that I get my point across with the least amount of possible misunderstandings that could come out of it. So as long as it's clear on my end and I'm as detailed as I can be, any misunderstanding technically is on the other person's part, right? I try to minimize that. And I see the difference that it makes in my life. And that kind of draws this real talk to the end. We're going to end off with one thing that we're each grateful for. And then it's a wrap. All right. Do you want to start?
Aw, I want a dog so bad.
Yes. Melody.
Yeah.
Wonder Boy says, I feel that because I'm the oldest and they expect so much out of me. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And the thing is, I wasn't even the oldest, boo-boo. And I got that. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. It really builds you. I developed my character because of the pressure that I was put on, that was put on me. And yes, it would have helped if things were a little different. But hindsight, what they say, 2020. Everyone looks back and is like, oh, I could have done this better. They could have done this better. There's no point dwelling on the past. Nothing good comes out of it. All that comes out of it is more like resentment or hurt and regret. It's better just to move forward and be like, this is how I'm going to be better and how I'm going to try not to make those same mistakes, right? So D said he's thankful for Melody. And is it just like everything what Melody's given to you in your life, and just having her makes you happy?
Yeah, well, I'm just glad to have, a dog best friend.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
nice.
I've shared that that quote, that Mark Twain quote, the more I learn about people, the more I like my dog. And I've been thinking about it. I'm like,
they're not wrong, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he had a dog like Melody, you know?
Oh my god, that's so nice. I love that. I'm so glad. Hey Drew?
I don't know. I guess for again, like cheesy and weird, but like I'm grateful for Twitch and because of the friends that I've made on it, and like being here doing this is not something I would have ever thought I'd be doing. And I'm really just grateful to have the people in my life that I do and to be able to do stuff like this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Even though they kill me with these puns.
I love them. I wish I was that talented. You guys are freaking awesome. When is the next stream?
Ooh.
I like that. Okay, X, what about you?
Yeah, other than like being grateful for like my family and friends and stuff, I'm grateful for like the experience I've encountered in my life, whether it's good or bad, because of those experiences that's made me become the person I am today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true. And I think that's an important thing to note, that sometimes we look back and we wish that things had gone differently, and we wish that we didn't make those mistakes that we made, and we have all these regrets, but it's hard. If you think about it, right? Like let me get deep for like 2 seconds. If you really think about it, right? In those movies where they're like, oh, I wish I had a time machine and I could go back in time. Just think about it. Let's say you have a time machine and you go back to 6 years ago. How do you know what point exactly to change to ensure that you will make all the right sequential choices to lead you where you want to be? Right? Like, it's so hard.
There's always a question that one of my friends used to ask. I still don't have an answer to, but he would ask. You know how me and my friends would like to have deep talks every now and then.
Yeah.
The question was, if you were to write a letter to your, let's say, 15-year-old self, what would you say?
Yeah.
My 15-year-old self would not listen.
What?
He said my 15-year-old self would not listen. Yeah, that's tough. And see, like, you would need to make very specific decisions in order to get the future that you want. But we will never know what decisions we will need to make, because there will always be something thrown at us that we're not prepared for, that we don't know how to deal with. And that's okay, man. That's life. And I think the more tightly we hold on to ourselves and plan, the more we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment. Like, it's important to have a plan, but also be ready for it to not work out and have a backup plan. So,
like, if I didn't go through the shit that I went through, I probably wouldn't be here or the way that I am. So, like, it sucks, but I'm me because of it.
Yes.
Yeah, you learn from it. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I would have to say that I am grateful for the way that the effort that my parents put into raising me, because I feel like I would have been less self-aware, or maybe I would have reached it at a later point in my life. But honestly, I can't take credit for the fact that I think about all of these things, and I want to hopefully be a better person, because I think the way that my parents have raised me, that contributed to that. And as much as, you know, I complain about my parents and they are annoying sometimes, I do have so much respect for them, and I'm very grateful that for all the sacrifices that they've made for me to have the life that I have. And I hope that, like, I don't plan to have kids, but I do hope that I can just be a better version of myself and get as close to their perfections as I can, because they do have so many amazing traits that I would love to hopefully embody and learn one day. So that's that. Thank you guys so much. This was so awesome. I'm just going to catch up on chat really quick, and then we're going to sign off.
It's gonna take like another 10 minutes, y'all.
No.
Can I comment on what you said about like the time machine scenario?
Go for it. Yes.
Like, you know, people like, you know, saying like, what if I could go back in time and change something about my life? Because, you know, it's you know, I don't want to be where I am in my life right now. Like, I kind of wish I had done things a little differently.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think we
I wish I'd written more. I wish I still wrote more.
Yes.
But I feel like, you know, because I used to actually write about self-improvement, and it's kind of a front for me helping myself improve.
Yes.
Yes. And one of the things I came up with was, you know, don't wait for Monday.
That's like a lot of people
will wait. A lot of people will wait for a point to start improving. Those New Year's Eve, you know.
Then I'll start. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and instead it's just like, you know what, start now. And if you can't start now, go take a nap. Start when you wake up. You know, and that's, yeah. If you have something about yourself you want to improve, you want to work on, just
do it.
It's, you know, it is one of those things where it is difficult to talk about because it's like I am coming from a place of privilege of like having gone through improvement.
Right.
But it's like,
it's possible.
Yeah, it is possible. It's difficult. It's very difficult. Take a nap, reset, start over. You know, don't wait till Monday.
I love that. I love that emphasis on it's difficult, but it's possible, because I really hope I didn't do this, but if I did, I'm sorry if I made it seem like, oh, self-improvement's so easy. I do want to stress on the fact that the point that D made is that it is difficult. It's meant to be difficult. You are going to be refined, and we are going to be refined and come out better on the other end. But as D said, it's hard to think about the process once you've been through the process, because you're already on the other end and someone else is starting right where you had started a year ago, 2 years ago, and it's sometimes hard to relate back to that, and it might you might feel like it's tricky not to come off like it's so easy, you could do it, I did it, but we're acknowledging that it is difficult. Yeah.
And sometimes it's a constant thing. Sometimes it doesn't stop.
God, yes.
Boy, is that fun, but you know, you gotta, sometimes you fall out of it, you gotta jump back into it, you gotta kick your own ass sometimes.
Yes, keep yourself in check. Absolutely.
It's not easy by any means.
No.
Yeah, it is a constant thing, because like, we're still improving ourselves to this day.
Absolutely.
Too.
Absolutely. So. And I think it's kind of it's humbling when you're constantly improving yourself, but when you get to that point where you become prideful and you're like, I'm good where I am, and you're just stop trying to improve, and I'm not saying hate yourself like I'm bad at this and like really pick at your flaws, but just acknowledge that there's always going to be something to improve or grow. And I think that keeps you humble too, and humility is so attractive in my opinion. It's such a good trait to have. So let me just catch up. Oh, thank you, Karku. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the lurk. I'm glad it was therapeutic, Wolf. I appreciate you being here. Everyone who contributed to chat and chilled here, spent your precious time with all of us when you guys could be doing anything else, chilling with anyone else. I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys enjoyed your time here. I enjoyed having you guys here. I'm grateful for this journey to getting fit 10 weeks strong. I would have never imagined working out for this long, and with awesome people too, that I will very much be grateful for, and I look forward to crossing the 3-month mark. Yes, and you are gonna get there. Hi, Fire Spin. Even tomorrow is a killer, especially for dieting. Ain't that the truth? I struggle with that.
Because you pour yours out.
Oh. Firespin, thank you very much for those Raven bits. I very much appreciate that. There has to be a point of no return where you set sail and never look back. Yeah, and that's I'll actually end with that point. I think that's really important to not dwell on, once you've made that commitment to self-improvement, dwelling on the past, all the time you've missed, all the mistakes you've made, and all the things you could have done, it's only going to set you back. So I really like that point of setting sail and just don't look back. It's okay to reflect once in a while, but I mean, like, really dwell on it and be like, I was such a horrible person. It's not going to help you. No, you have pointed out that it's difficult. Good. I just never want to come off like I am so amazing. I'm like better than everyone. I've improved everything. Y'all suck. Yeah, no, it's not like that at all. Aim for small repeated victories instead of one huge goal. Then you'll focus. Yes, Maine, you got it. You got it. This is awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad, Aya, and it's wonderful having you here. Thank you. I enjoy getting to know my teammates. Yo, I hope we can play soon. I will check the Discord message, Zilla Manila. Thank you. All right, guys. I am going to sign off of here for 1 second. Okay. I'm going to... How am I going to do this? I'm going to end the stream. And if we all just want to say bye before I raid somebody. Oh, shoot. You guys can see. Oh, my God. I don't want to see your... I don't want to cover your face. Yeah. Sorry. We are...
Bye.
Yeah, we're gonna raid Sugar. Okay,
Ooh.
yeah, we're gonna raid. He's in a Twitch Sings party with Ashley. Yeah. We're gonna spread that good loving. And God willing, I will see you guys in probably like half an hour or so. I'll get back and we can stream some Valorant. So God willing, I'll see you guys soon. Stay scrumptious. Thank you so much, Hadriel and X and D, for being on this with me. I really appreciate it. It was so nice getting to know you guys.
This was fun. Yeah.
I'm really glad. Stay scrumptious and Raven out. Bye, guys. What about the one? Oh. Okay, we'll play a league game and then we'll do Valorant. I'm sorry.
You left him alone for this long?
I'm sorry.
You have 28 through the second.
Yes, you're right. Habibi, I'll two with you. Two tonight. Baby, I'll see you soon on the fields of justice. I'll see you real soon. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.